reading tales of ancient might, pages worn by time and hands, songs of distant ancient lands. Heroes brave with swords of sheen, kings and queens in worlds unseen, legends born from ink and scroll, in the words I find my soul. Pages of old come alive, history's breath in each side. Classics whisper wisdom grand, in these books my heart expands.
Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. This is the second of two videos that I'm recording tonight. Some other point this week or early next week, at any rate before Christmas, I will be recording a book haul video, probably a couple book hauls videos that were kind of occurred over the period of time as books trickled in. But this video is a bit of a TBR video for 2025, and also considering what if there are books that maybe I have on my current reads, but maybe I'm going to put them aside, soft DNF them. I'll return to them, but maybe not now. So looking at soft DNFs, I would say first on that particular list, I don't know if I will just be reading this whenever I feel like, or if it'll be a soft DNF, and that is Vampires, Burial, and Death by Paul Barber. I think I mostly started it, to be quite honest with you, because I wanted to use my medieval vampire donkey bookmark. Yes, it's the silliest reason to start a book, but I'm not very far along. I'll leave that bookmark in there because that's where it belongs. And I think that this will be a soft DNF. I'll keep the library card in here. Oh, do I even have? Yeah, I have the library card in here. I'll keep the library card in here. I'll just stamp it done when I eventually finish it. Or I'll restamp it if I decide to restart it. But I have a feeling this will be a soft DNF. I'll read it at some point, but just not now. And then I should just finish this. I started such a long time ago. This is, I don't even know when I started because I didn't have my stamp at that point. This is Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, The Story of Success. I've read one other book by him. I think the other one was David and Goliath. This one wasn't quite as engrossing of a read. So this one might be a soft DNF with a return, when I'm feeling it a little bit more. I don't feel like I need to restart it. I think that you can kind of continue with this book wherever you happen to already be. But this may or may not be a soft DNF. I have several of his books as well. And I'm saying as well because in my brain, I'm still in the previous video where I was talking about my Thomas Sowell books. Now, this one, I'm not sure. I really just need to get back into reading this. This is Teresa of Avila. Sorry, I got an itch in my back. I got my hair cut yesterday, so even though I took a shower after that, I still feel like the hair down my back, and I don't know why. But autobiography of Teresa of Avila. I know why I stopped it. I know that it was because I got annoyed when a section ended up being longer than I anticipated, and so I threw a little fit, and I was like, I'll start this later. I might just, maybe when I finish my Advent books, my Advent meditations, maybe instead of picking up again with Imitation of Christ, maybe I'll continue Teresa of Avila's autobiography. Or maybe I'll have this planned for after I do Imitation of Christ. Because I really just need to buckle down and finish this. Because it's not like, isn't even her hard stuff. This is her autobiography. I haven't even started, Interior Castles or something like that. So I really just need to be read it. So that might not be a soft DNF, but that will be finished whenever I feel like it. Then another one. This one this might just be one, I don't think I'll soft DNF it. I think this will be one that I pick up maybe a chapter here, a chapter there, a couple pages here, a couple pages there. And I started this during the Big Book Summer. Now, because I didn't finish it for Big Book Summer, I can't pick it up again for Big Book Summer this coming year. But I will probably read sections here and there. And this is Disjointed, Navigating the Diagnosis and Management of Hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome and Hypermobility Spectrum Disorders. And as someone with Ehlers-Danlos Syndrome, particularly the hypermobile type, this is a book that I really need to be reading. I've meant to read it multiple times. I've gotten farther, I think, than I have in my one on mast cell, which is another medical condition I have. But maybe when I finish this one, I'll eventually get to the mast cell one. But yeah, I don't think this will be a soft DNF. I think that this will just be a catch here, catch there kind of read. Then other ones, and actually I'm going to, before I bring up other books, I've gone ahead, and if you've watched other videos of mine, you might be aware that I like lists. I even have like what's left for my December, like what's left for 2024. If, I have my druthers, what will I finish? Well, I'll definitely get to finish Persuasion, so I look forward to checking that off. Probably won't finish The Ring of Words. I ended up, and actually I need to put a line through it, I decided not to finish Dickens and Christmas. I'll start that next Christmas. I just have too many other books going, and I'm just not feeling reading Dickens and Christmas right now. Just like I probably won't finish Kitchener, Portrait of an Imperialist this time around. I think that maybe that'll be a soft DNF. I might actually start my physical Kitchener book before I do that. Joy to the World, either I'll finish it at the end of December or it might go into January. But that's a read with my mom, so that's very dependent on both of our schedules. Great Bridge I'd like to finish by the end of 2025. So at the very least, Persuasion and The Great Bridge I really need to finish by the end of 2025. And then I checked off books that I finished for Christie's Missing. My David McCullough one, I still have not managed to check off The Great Bridge on here. And this has got the whole schedule on it. On the other side, I have a tentative schedule for, Historathon, for the different alongs I have going, just books I tentatively want to read for those specific alongs. And then outside of that, I have the year broken up into months up until October, and then I have October through December broken up. But these books will change as I read through the year. I just wanted to kind of map out a general idea of what I might want to read. But when you're planning all the way to the end of the year, things are going to change. But it was good to kind of like maybe help me not start off the year with starting all the things if I am looking at my list and go like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this. So I don't maybe overwhelm myself. And I can't start like my February plans maybe unless I get a little farther my January ones. We'll see how well that actually works. But then to go into other TBR, this one will be started up again during quarter 2. I started this for Big Book Summer, and I didn't end up finishing it. I did finish a book for Big Book Summer. What did I finish? I can't remember what I finished. I want to say that it was another medieval book, but I can't really remember what I finished for Big Book Summer because I did finish something. But it was a bit ambitious on my part to expect that I could possibly finish 2 really big books during Big Book Summer. So this one I will pick up again during quarter 2. And this is Lindisfarne Gospels, Society, Spirituality, and the Scribe by Michelle P. Brown. And you've heard me talk about her before when I talked about her book, The Theory of Everything, Beat in the Theory of Everything, which I absolutely loved. It actually made me go and pick up a lot of her books. Another book that's going to be a continuation from last year is women's work. Again, I think that I started this one a bit late in the year, and then I got distracted by other things. I started it, I want to say, did I start on Kindle or physical? I can't remember. For a while, I was listening to it sometimes, reading on Kindle, sometimes reading on physical, and then bouncing through different mediums based off of where I was. But I definitely feel like it's easier doing it the physical form, just because there'd be points where to talk about something and I'd be like, oh, I wish I could have seen that, especially if I was listening to it. But yeah, women's work, first 20,000 years, women, cloth, and society in early times. And I'm on page 160 of, not including the index, let me see, or the sources, or the illustration list. Okay, 160 of 300. So I'm a little bit more than halfway through. So I should be able to finish this. Hopefully, I'd like to finish the first month of, I'd like to finish this in January. Then other ones that are on my TBR, although this one, it's got no schedule on it. I had already started this. The only reason why I have it in TBR is because I don't intend on finishing this in 2025, and that is J.R.R. Tolkien's The Unfinished Tales. I shouldn't have started this when I did because I knew I had other things I needed to finish, but I finished The Silmarillion, and so I jumped right into The Unfinished Tales. And this Unfinished Tales of Numenor and Middle-earth. And, I mean, I've enjoyed what I've read so far, but I'm not in a rush to finish this. I can read this over any period of time. Then the other one, which is kind of in the same vein, and I shouldn't have started all the classics that I've been starting until I finish this one, but self-control, what is that? This is Les Mis by Victor Hugo. I should not have started Around the World in 80 Days until I finished this one, but I wanted to start Around the World in 80 Days, and as you can see from previous videos, I have finished Around the World in 80 Days. But I am at an important part in the story where really things are going to kick off, but I have not yet hit the Waterloo section, which is in the unabridged version, which this is. This is the first time I've read the unabridged version. And I just need to sit down and read it. But that'll happen next year because I have books I need to finish this year. And there's no time schedule on this, but I would like to actually finish it. Ouch. Then the other one, this is for the McCullough read-along. The next book in the McCullough read-along should be this one. I believe it is. Let's see. Yeah, this one is supposed to be January, February. So I need to make sure I actually, stay consistent with reading this. This is Path Between the Seas, the creation of the Panama Canal, 1817 to 1914. I don't know how this will compare to the Great Bridge in how easy of a read it will to make its way through, or what. But David McCullough does write good books. It's just that sometimes the topics wouldn't be ones that I would have necessarily chosen on my own. I probably wouldn't have chosen the Johnstown Flood, even though I did end up enjoying the book as much as you can say you enjoy a book about a tragedy like the Johnstown Flood. And there's been aspects I've definitely enjoyed of the Great Bridge. So I'm sure there'll be aspects that I enjoy of this particular book. But this is the next one. And then I think after that I get to have a biography, which is, I believe, then we have the one on Teddy Roosevelt. Mornings on Horseback is in March. And it's also a thick book, but that's a biography, and I usually can eat my way through biographies pretty quickly. And then I have the ones that are my planned buddy reads thus far, that are not including the ones with my mom, which are, not really time specific, and we do them whenever the heck we feel like doing them. I'm doing a couple buddy reads with Ariane from Book Zealots, And we are starting with My Dearest Friend in January, Letters of Abigail and John Adams. She and I are still working out any of the details for that, but this is our first one we're starting. And then we also talked about, because she mentioned she had this book, I'm like, oh, I have it too. Do you want to do this one as a buddy read too? So we are. We're going to be doing 1812, The War That Forged a Nation. And I don't remember anything about the War of 1812. So I'll enjoy doing this as a buddy read as well. But this is actually a shorter video than I expected. I don't think I have time for a book haul video though. So I will just likely end this here, probably because I didn't go into as much detail as I did with the previous video. But that's just a general idea of my plans. I do want to say really quickly some of my ones for Historathon maybe. So I mentioned the read-alongs with Ariane from Book Zealots, but I also have, besides women's work and the Lindisfarne Gospels, which will actually be for quarter two, for quarter one, I have to finish Crucifixion by Martin Hengel, and it's a little red book. I started reading it on Kindle initially last year, and then I switched over to the physical form. And what it does is it talks about the ancient view of crucifixion. It's a little bitty book, so I'll finish it easily, probably in the first month. The other one that I definitely want to read is Crucifixion of Jesus, A Forensic Inquiry by Frederick T. Gosh, how do I say that? Zigby? Something like that. And he is a forensic doctor. So that's going to be a very interesting read. It's got drawings. It explains, it looks like it explains in like physiologically, how things would have worked with just the way that he would have been raised up, where the nails would have had to been, how that would have affected the body, the way that he would have been positioned. It's going to talk about just different things physiologically from a forensic point of view, different aspects along the line for the crucifixions. That includes the scourging, that includes everything from this forensic point of view. So that I'm really looking forward to just getting into that. And I also want to read Punic Wars by Adrian Goldsworthy. And I want to pick up, or I have it already on Kindle. I read Lindsay Powell's book on Germanicus. I want to say it wasn't last year, but the year before that. And I really enjoyed Lindsay Powell's work. So, and I wanted to read something of hers. Lindsay's can be both guy's name and girl's name. So I want to say it's a he, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I've been wanting to read another one of Powell's books since then. And I think I'm going to, if I do end up reading one of them, it'll probably be the one on Bar Kokhba. Bar, just like B-A-R. And then the second name is Kokhba, K-O-K-H-B-A. And I guess that he was a Jew who really like made himself a problem for the Romans. So I'm interested in that. I could have read Josephus, but I'm not going to do Josephus this year because I have Josephus, but I don't think I'll do Josephus this year. I don't have it planned anyway. So those are a couple of things I have planned for quarter one for Historathon. And some of the other things for January that I was thinking of, besides, of course, The Path Between the Seas for David McCullough. And I guess that just cover everything. And Les Mis. So, yeah. That's what I'm looking for headed into next year. I look forward to getting a bit of something new going because some of these reads I feel like I've been doing for a little while. And it'll be nice starting with a somewhat fresh plate. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope that you have a wonderful day. I will end up recording another few videos probably tomorrow, but until that point, I will see you next time. God bless. Bye.
Castles tall and battles fierce, knights in armor, hearts sincere, riddles wrapped in lore and rhyme, travel through the hands of time. Sages speak from yellowed leaves, wisdom hidden neath the eaves, every tale a portal wide to a time where legend